Okay, everyone, I am making sure that the mic is working. I'm going to double check it now. Let's see. Sounds like it is. Okay, everyone, I am making sure that the mic is working. I'm going to check it now. Sounds like it is. Okay. I just need to get my shoes on, and we'll be ready to go. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day. Just probably hearing some echo because I'm in the house with the phone that I was double checking. Okay, so hope everyone is enjoying their Wednesday. I think today is Wednesday. Let's assume today is Wednesday. It's Wednesday. As you can see, there is some snow. Not a lot of snow, but there is some snow. So I think roughly, we're going to do a check, but I think if all said and done, it was roughly about an inch. Current temperature, let's peek up at the temperature. Current temperature is, -1°C or about 30 degrees outside. So it's a tad bit chilly. See gray skies. But not a lot of snow, just a nice coating, a nice dusting of snow today. So lurking. Yeah, it's winter. It's pretty much telling me it's winter now. So I'm glad we didn't get more. I'd have liked to got more, but I'm glad we didn't get more because I have some stuff to still do. So here's a good mix of all the guys coming up and saying hi. The guinea sneaking in there with the Muscovies, and everybody's just ready for their afternoon snack. Well, it's actually their afternoon dinner, but snack dinner, same thing. Up here comes one of the hens. It's Queen Anne, the hen back there. So I guess what we'll do, we'll start off first is we'll start off in the barn, and we'll start dressing it. So as you can see, here is the mud part of the mud season. Unfortunately, it's mud season, at least until the ground gets a little bit colder. And I did a good job keeping this grassed for a while, and now it's just a crazy muddy mess, unfortunately. Ducks are really good at making mud. That's an absolute skill that they have. Very, very good at making mud. So I'm chilly today. It's one of these days that I actually feel cold. So it's a chilly, cold day for me. So we will we're just gonna play it cool. We're just gonna play it slow and get everything done today and talk a little bit about. I brought myself a cheat sheet so that I can continue talking about important things that. Yeah, okay, that's not bueno. Hold on, guys. So I also want to give you guys heads up. Hopefully by a week from today or so, I should be getting my Ray-Ban glasses, and I think I figured out a way to hack them so that I don't have to just use them on Meta products. I can use them here. I charged this gimbal today. This gimbal is fully charged, so I don't know why it is acting up. So give me just a second. Maybe it's just not balanced properly. Let me get the balance in. So okay, and then go like this, and we should be balanced. Okay, so hopefully that balances back out. Anyways, have my cheat sheet so we can talk about philosophical things, so we can combine farming and philosophical things together. So I got a quote. I'm going to read you this quote. It says, "To obtain your desire, you must deserve it. The world does not reward the undesiring, those that are undesirable." So you might wonder what that means, because you think, yeah, but look at all those stupid rich people. and they get all this nice things. Or look at these people that are lazy. And really what it means is, that is out. So one of the things that it really means is you have to prepare your mind. You have to have your mind to prepare to receive. And that is something that we are often tricked at not doing properly, is how to properly receive. And that's receive love, that's receive help, that's receive lots of things. This the construct that at least most people in the Western world grow into and develop into is this world of lack of abundance, that we need, that there's scarcity. And we do not live in a world of scarcity. We absolutely live in a world of total and utter abundance. We're just tricked into not being able to see that, because once we transcend to the next mental evolution of humans, once we keep moving up, because we started off as humans with certain types of ideas. We needed to follow rules, we needed people to lead us, and then as we keep ascending up, there is different ways, there's different mindsets, there's different things that us humans do. And as we ascend up, we actually become harder and harder to control. And some of the elite, it's not even just the elite, some people just think that control is important, that we need order, we need strong order and strong control. And even well-intentioned people sometimes use it. They use the power, they use the iron fist, because that is traditionally how it's been used throughout the course of life and history and human existence. But every so many stages, every so many years, decades, cultures, we come up with a new, better way to do things. Like, when humanity discovered democracy, it was kind of a level up. And then when we discovered certain levels of compassion, it was a level up. And then when we understood how to, look into trauma and how trauma can affect us in negative ways, and how joy can affect us. And as we understand, we have more of a science brain, and we understand the way emotions interact with our brains, that gave us a level up. And so we are constantly moving up. And so as you elevate your own mind and you start realizing that you can kind of manifest your own destiny, and I'm not meaning that you can make money appear from nowhere, but what you would be doing is you're making the opportunity, you're making yourself open to observing that opportunity, open to taking advantage of the opportunities that you previously couldn't see. They were there, but you didn't know how to see them. And that is something that I have, through spending a lot of time with self-improvement, with self-authoring, with trying to find how to become a better version of myself, so that I can also then make better versions of the world. Those are things concepts and things that we want to think about. And I know some of this is hard to grasp, and it is. It's time. I've spent many years sitting and reflecting some of these thoughts, trying to understand them in the best way I can, based off of where my mind is at that moment. Because sometimes our minds are very open, and we have the ability to just, seems like sometimes we're just really on point and the flow is strong and we just understand things very well, and it's just easy for us to get it. And it's just easy for us to, like, man, I just get it. Just clicks. And then other times we're just not there yet. We're just not ready. We just don't have the bandwidth or the previous lessons yet to get to that. And that's something I think is often hard for people when you start learning things and you start moving your mind to a different level of consciousness. You start moving your education to a different level of understanding. It can be hard for you to remember that other people aren't there yet, that they're also in a different stage. And maybe they'll never make it to your stage, your level, your area. And it's not a race. We're not all trying to move to the top. It's not a pyramid to try to strive to get to it. It's just the reality of sometimes you think about subjects and it's easier for some people to think about that subject based off of their unique life experience, their culture, just how things have been for them. I've been challenging my mind a lot to really start thinking about metamodern. It is the next step past postmodern. And so I've been reading and doing the best I can to comprehend things at particular levels. And some are above my currently. I just don't have, some days I just don't have the ability to think about that kind of, to think about the stuff as I'd like to think about it. And other days, just like I said earlier, it's just the flow. And I want people to also understand that sometimes you move up and down. It's not like you get to a particular step and then you stay there and that makes you, better than somebody else, or that makes that you've reached that particular level. It's just now you have a top end, and then you might go back to being at a lower level, or you might communicate people at a different level because that's what you need to do. That's how you need to survive in the society. As you've upped your, I guess a good way to put it is if you think about it like a video game, you've upped your charisma, or you've upped your intelligence, or you've upped your hit points. And so now you can reach up to that, even though you're not always going to, be maxed out. You have the potential of going higher than other people. And that doesn't, and I want to make this clear, because sometimes people hear that and they think that means that someone is better. This concept of things being better or worse, or smarter or dumber, is way too simplified. Because yes, there is someone that is an expert in something that I'm not an expert in. There's someone that knows more knowledge, and someone that is able to express that knowledge, or use that knowledge, or do something else with the knowledge that I can't. But that doesn't mean that just because they have more of something that it makes it better. Sometimes, and I find this a lot with trying to have conversations about obscure ideas with folks that are master to PhD level people, is that they've got to the point where they've niched themselves so small that when you have an abstract idea like the shape of the earth, let's just say, they get to the point where they're so like, well, it has to be this, and it's just this, and they're not willing to entertain the thought of, could things form in different shapes? Does things always have to be what we seem? Is the realm that we currently live in, does it make sense if the object was a different shape, color, texture? Is reality real? It's fun questions like that I guess the best way to refer to it is um, it's kind of this concept of, when you sit around, if any of you guys sat around with your friends when you were in high school and such, and you smoked pot, and you just thought about the stuff of the world. I say that we should be doing that without necessarily smoking pot. Madison, I'm not sure where Madison is. The two places that I'm closest to, easily find on a map, is Beckley and Bluefield. If you can't do, I'm about 45 minutes away from south of Charleston, and I'm about 45 minutes north of Whitfield in Virginia. So if that helps. So and I don't know if it's TV, I don't know if it's education, I don't know if it's religion, I don't know if it's just because most people became adults and forgot the childlike wonder of exploration, and even mental exploration is to think about things that we will never be able to affect. You'll probably never be able, I will never be able to solve the world's problems. I'll never be able to stop the elite from doing what they're doing. But it's fun to think about how I can communicate the knowledge that I have and how I can expand it, and I can ask a question, and maybe you can answer me something else that I've currently not thought about. Do that real fast, and how you can help me think about something I've not thought about, and a different direction. And sometimes the thought experiment is just fun. It's taking logic and reality out of it, because sometimes we restrict ourselves with the narrow rules that we allow our mind to think in, and we don't expand it out enough. I've hear people say that make sure you don't open your mind so much that your brain falls out. But I thought about that. Like, maybe you want to open your mind to that particular point, because sometimes our brains is actually what's getting in the way. Sometimes it's our logic, it's our training, it's all of our trauma, our knowledge, our brainwashing, our education, our usness that is actually making it so we can't see something in a different light. It's not direct, it's not necessarily the word I want to use. I'm really trying to simplify. I'm trying to keep the words simple and sweet, so that even folks that have a tough time thinking the way I'm talking right now, we can all have a dialogue together. That's one of the things that I love about psychology, is I love how there's big words that explain awesome, wonderful things like self-authoring and post-conventional. The problem with those big words is, if you aren't in that community, if you haven't, if this is maybe the first time you've heard one of those words, you don't necessarily have the context to be able to use that, to have that word have the meaning that it might mean, and you might misinterpret it. And that happens a lot, the misinterpretation of words, because communication, this hearing words coming from my mouth or reading words on the screen, doesn't always jive with the way humans communicate. We move our bodies, we look at screens, we interact, we feel the auras of another person. We feel, like, I can feel people's moods. Like, I mean, I think every one of you can feel someone's moods. You're having a conversation with someone, and their body language is and even they're making noises, and you just know you have that, you know that there's some stress, there's some trauma, there's something coming up. And if we also using big words on top of that, it can really hurt the way we communicate. And I mean, one of the biggest issues that I have when me and other people get into big arguments and when we have disagreements is I roll back and find out a lot of times it's because we have a personal relationship with a word, and that relationship we have with the word means that we might not be using the same definition. So I don't want to go as far as saying that we live in a post-truth world, but we do live in something. We live in something more of a personal truth world. There's a truth. There is a universal, understood truth for the realm that we live in. But sometimes the understanding of that truth has nuance, and the truth can be viewed differently. Like, for example, the truth is bread is edible unless you've got celiac disease, and then bread really is not edible for you, and it can cause problems. Bread can be very tasty and good for the body and nourishing, but to other people it can be harmful and cause problems and have complications to that. And that is a simple, that's something simple as bread, something that humans have been interacting with for thousands of years. So when we come across newer concepts, things that maybe, you know, we've had to reach the cerebral place, we had to have our brain functioning, our brain working at a particular level to be able to think about something else, and now we try to put the black and white or the shades of gray or even a understanding with the lack of words that we use, an understanding of a concept, the word, is that it can be lost, and it can be two people think they're having a conversation with each other, but they're really not. They're having a conversation around each other. One of the things that we've lost in our current Western society, and we've lost it for lots of reasons, so I'm not blaming anything. And I'm working really hard to try to solve this issue with myself, because I'm just as bad. Is we lost the ability to actually listen. People don't listen anymore. So when you are actively listening, when you're actively listening, your brain needs to be focused on that, not over here thinking of something else, not thinking about what your rebuttal will be, not what words I'm going to say next, not, you know, playing over here and typing on this computer. When you are actively listening, the person's words are coming into you, and you're looking at how this person, what this person is saying, how this person's background is, how is the words that this person's saying, how is this relating to the message that the person is trying to share. And we don't give. I've got everyone fed in here except for I have not got anybody water yet.
Okay, I was working on the bunnies out there, but Sylvia bumped at me.
Oh, okay. I was gonna take that to the handy run, because I haven't got those guys in there yet. I don't know if it was enough for the handy run. Okay. Okay. Yeah. What are you getting Sylvia now? Oh, okay. I was asking because. Okay. I'll probably feed her back by her house. Okay. I think we have 1.5 things of water in here right now. We have 2 things of water in here right now, so I'll come get you another water in just a minute. These 2 don't look frozen. They shouldn't be frozen sitting here. Yeah, no, this is a good spot in the middle of the barn. What?
I said awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Have you given them anything?
Yeah, they've got a couple snacks. You,
walked out into the barnyard and the typical.
yeah, yeah. I mean, they can give you, you can give them a little bit more too, but they've had some snacks already. But if you want to give them more, so I'll be back. I'm gonna go out here for a minute. So going back to the active listening, so it's I would say a good way to practice your ability to actively listen, because I know that it can be rather difficult, because we don't really have anything to train us to be active listeners. So I would say the first training would be get on and have a podcast. Is to find a podcast and listen to the podcast. Try not to let yourself do other things. Maybe just use it to take notes. And so start off with the active listening where you're taking notes. You're actually listening to the speaker in a podcast. And then next time you're in a conversation with individuals, do that as well. Unless it's a really odd situation where, it might be disruptive for you to take notes, do that in a conversation. That puts your mind in a slightly different category of listening. Hi, Miss Sylvia. We're gonna go about back, so you need to come out. We need to go out back to get some of your food. Okay? Yeah, we're going out back. So I think that's a good. No, I told her we're heading around back. So, Miss Sylvia, come on. So that's one of the first things, and I think it would be a fun challenge. I think it would be interesting to see what you guys, if that helps, you be more active listeners and better at listening. Yeah, I don't. Okay, cool. So. Okay. Hi, Miss Sylvia. Yeah. Let's give you some food. Piggy pig pig. You were I'm gonna jump over. You were talking about the that I used to do. I used to put the red lights in the barn, and I used to keep that for the water and such. What we do now is I know there's spots in the barn that naturally stay warmer, and so we'll put the containers and such there. Or sometimes if I know it's going to be a super really cold night, I just won't put the I won't put the water containers in the barn, and I'll just fill them up in the house, or fill them up in an area where it's not necessarily going to freeze. Winter's a fun, tricky time here. So lots of different things you have to plan around. But one of the things I did learn is good air circulation in your barn definitely helps with keeping the humidity low, because having a lower humidity in the barn seems to make it so that even when it's cold, you don't have, the animals don't get as sick, and they don't shiver as much, and they can stay warmer with their feather coats on. So that's actually a good point. I'm going to head back to the house for a second, because I want to put a thermos. I have a thermometer that I purposely grabbed a while ago, and I wanted to put it in the barn because I usually try to keep track of the temperatures in the barn, and I keep forgetting to bring it out. So while I'm thinking about that lurking, I'm going to go grab it in the house so that we can put it in the barn, and I can know the temperature. Fortunately, I need to find a nice big one so I can actually read it from the cameras at some particular point. But right now I just have a little one, so we're going to go with that. Yeah, no, it's those red heat lamps are absolutely amazing. If they weren't they weren't so power hungry, but hence the reason, they're creating heat. So that's part of the reason that they are so power hungry, why they're using the powers because they're mostly creating heat. But I do like them. Brooding lamps, for those that maybe don't know what we're talking about, the big brooding lamps, I think, is the term that is they're referred to as. Hi, puppies. See, puppies. Puppies waiting for me to, okay, Hi, puppies. I'm grabbing this one. I've got a, got one that has, okay. Let me shut the door. Good to see that the audio is still working the way it's supposed to. Oh yeah, lurking. There's some. Oh, guys, look here. I don't know if you guys can see this. I'm gonna try to zoom in so you guys can see. You guys look. I'll try to stand stiller. You guys look right there on the hillside. We have. Looks like 3, 4. I see 4 deer. Oh dear. Yeah, I see 4 deer up there hanging out right now. 1, 2, 3. There's 3 right there. 3 right there, and I think there's 1 up a little bit higher. Some of these dudes are pretty smart. They know that there's certain spots of my yard that are safe. I'm gonna zoom back just so you guys can see, like, so they're up there, so cool. Got to see some deers. I think I've seen an elk one day, so yeah, lurking. They do look like youngins to me. I agree. They look like some young folks passing through. They're probably up there eating. There's multiflora rose up there, so they're probably eating the berries, the rose hips. And then there's also I've purposely let that particular hillside start to. Instead of mowing it down every year, I've kind of let it do its thing, and a lot of plants moved in, mostly to give some more food and such for wildlife. And so they're probably up there scavenging for some early winter food that is available to them. Let's go. I'll bring the thermometer into the barn. So this is nice because it also has humidity, and this also works out really good because it has an extreme high and extreme low. So where is going to be? I think if I stick it on the right there. It's not the easiest to see, but I think that that'll be the best place for it right now. I'm going to stick it right on the lamp. Turn on the lamp too. We'll stick it on the lamp. So the little one. Yeah. So let me give me a second, guys. I'm gonna come over here, put this here, and you guys spin around. Okay. Got it. Oh, fell down. Yeah. Okay. Let's get this closed back. Okay. So we're gonna go for a quick little walk out back, and then through the field, and show you guys how lovely it is over there. So I missed it last night. Again, I had other things going on, so I missed the Tuesday night show. I'm going to try to do a encore show on Thursday, so that's tomorrow. I'm going to try to do an encore show probably about 9 Eastern time, maybe 10 Eastern time. I'm not sure just yet. So that we're going to do some catching up, because we got some catching up to do with learning about different ways for gardening, permaculture, and fun things like that. So I think I also mentioned to you guys, if you've not, I'm ordering the those Ray-Ban glasses so I can do some live streaming. So you guys will be some more point of view, which should be pretty interesting. We'll see how well I like that concept and such. Lisa's making a bunch of winter hats, so some like this one, and she's gonna have a bunch of styles. I'll have a link to all of her winter hats if folks are interested, or if you guys want a custom color hat or something like that. Depending on the style of hat and the size of hat, those are wondering, the hats range between the prices of $25 to $45 for custom winter hat. It's all kind of depends on the type of yarn that you want and the size. She's been making hats. She makes hats every winter, and so I don't have my new hat for this winter yet. I haven't decided what style I'd like yet, but when I do, I'll showcase that to you guys as well. So I'll stand out here for just a second. Now that the cars are gone, we'll do a quick little 360, and I'll try to stay quiet enough so you can just hear the peace and quiet of the winter. Nice, lovely snowy day. Feels nice outside. I haven't quite acclimated to the cold just yet. I'm getting close. Today's just I didn't sleep well, so when I don't sleep well, I seem to not be able to acclimate to the cold as well. Or days that I feel good and energized, I seem to be able to acclimate to the cold very well on those days. So we're on a day where not that well at acclimating to the cold. I think it's the sun flares and everything else giving me a little bit of headache and just affecting my sleep. I hope you guys been sleeping okay and having a pretty decent days. I hope you guys are having things to look forward to with the holiday season approaching and with winter here, so you guys can slow down a bit. So I view winter as a time that we all need to slow down a bit and relax in our minds, spend more time with our thoughts, maybe get online, find some ways to educate yourself, maybe practice some fellowship with your friends, do some activities together, slow down from the hustle and bustle of the rest of the year. Good time to reflect. Think about what great things you achieved this year, what failures you had, people that came, people you've lost. It's just winter's just a good time for that. And then it's also a good time to think about what you're going to do tomorrow and next day, and how the future is going to be bright and bright and sunny for you, and how all of the bad that happened is over, and it's time to find new, cooler, better ideas. So yeah, folks, it was yeah, guys having, oh, I don't get to, you guys want to look at the sky. You guys want to look at me. So that guy is having a time. That dude's car keeps cutting out. Might be out of gas. So sounds like he's out of gas to me. Well, friends, I think that it'll be enough on our journey today. I might walk over and see if like that dude needs some help or what's going on. It doesn't sound like he's starting his car back. And see him kind of coasting backwards a little bit. So anyways, friends, I hope you have a good rest of the day. And it's Doc. Till tomorrow. Adios.